home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah. This is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We up in this thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the recap stream of the crap that we seen today. But in the end, we got some decisions to make. So we're going to do the recap stream. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this thing, man. Y'all do us a service and hit that damn like button. That's the way. Listen, Pops, welcome on in for the recap, my man. Aloha student and the rest of them. Appreciate y'all. Brother Adrian's in this thing. Shout out to Cartel. Brother Byron V. Griffin. Cartel. Jaden. Shout out to all y'all, man. Good to see OG Jerry is in this thing as well. Good to see all y'all, man. Much love to the fam. Yes, sir. We are back for the recap stream. So anyway, with that being said, what's up? Big Valley is in this thing as well. What's up, Bev? Shout out to Bev. She's in there representing the Who Dat Nation. KT. Shout out to my brother KT. He up in this thing as well. And we up in this. What's up, Gundam? Shout out to brother Gundam. Hey, man, listen. We're going to do the recap stream. We got Pops Q in the building, man. We're going to do the Saints. Kind of brief recap. Pops, you was able to kind of gather what we seen from the Broncos. I'm going to go over the stats, and then, of course, you tell us what your thought process was on the game. And, of course, we're going to go into our 53-man roster projection and see what we can come up with in the stream. So, anyway, let's start off with that, man. Let's get that going right away, straight away in the matchup. So, Saints go down. Saints fall to Broncos. Sean Payton, 28-19. Coach Payton wanted his Broncos finish the preseason 3-0. I guess they get the preseason Super Bowl trophy, right? Maybe not. But the team statistics show that the Saints 16 first downs there. They were 5 of 13 on third downs, 0 for 2 on fourth downs, 75 plays versus 58 plays. Advantage Sean Payton. 300 and almost 400 yards of production from the Broncos versus 236 by the Saints. Total drives with 10 all. More yards per play, 5.3 versus 4.1. 293 yards, almost 300 yards passing. The Saints had a dismal 160, just didn't push the ball good enough. Even outrush. Saints were outrushed 103-76 on the ground. They did. It was a positive in terms of when they did run the ball. 17 rushes for over 4.5 yards, about 4.5 yards average right there, versus 27 by the Broncos for 4. The red zone Broncos was down there 6 times, converted half the time. Saints got down there 1 time. The penalty 6 out of 35, 635 by the Bronx, and the Saints were 3 for 40. Both teams had turnovers. Fumble by the Saints, interception fumbled by the Saints, and the Saints also got an interception as well. The time of possession, over 13 minutes more for the Broncos, 36-51 versus 23-09 by the Black and Gold. And, of course, the individual statistics, Tyler Shough had better numbers. He was 12 of 20 for a $102. He did get sacks one time, and it was 73.3 was his rating. Spencer Rattler, not so good, 5 of 8 for 43, 5.4 average. He was sacked once as well, 76.6. And then Jake Haener got in there, 5 of 9 for 37 yards. He was sacked twice as well, 65.5 rating. People were wondering why was he in there. I don't know. Tyler Shough did tie the lead with him and Devin Neal with the most yards, 20 yards on 2 scrambles by Tyler. Devin Neal had 5 for 20, and Tyler also got the only touchdown of the game when he scrambled 11 yards for a touchdown. And, of course, you've seen the receiver play, Kevin Austin Jr., 3 catches for 34 yards on 6 targets. Chris Olave, 3 for 29. Matavo, 3 for 23. And not much else shaking on that side of it. And the top tackler, Rajon Wright, had 9 tackles, solo 7 tackles. Jonas Sinker also had 9. 6 from Jordan Howden. Isaac Udom had 4. Quincy Riley had 4 plus a pick and a pass defense. So Quincy Riley was doing and stepping up, playing good game as well. 3 sacks by Saints defenders today. Jasim Davis had got a sack. Jonah Williams and Christian Boyd also had sacks in the game. Mentioned Quincy Riley's pick. The return game was kind of not that good. Jaden Price, 2 for 55 on 27.5 yard average. Velus Jones, 1 for 39. Pettis had 1 for 20. Moochie Dixon, 1 for 16. So did Roderick Daniels Jr., 1 for 6. Pettis on the punt side, 1 for 9. Blake Grupe, 3 for 3 on the night, finished with 9 points. Charlie Smith had a 52-yarder and an extra point there. So it was 4 points for him. Kai Kroger was the only punter kicking anything, and 1 for 38 inside the 20. So the quarterbacks kind of, no matter who the quarterback was for the Denver Broncos, they was able to move the ball. The defense, the first team did have some adequate stands. Offense still not exactly where we need them to be. And at some point, man, the Saints going to have to address that going forward. So, Pops, that's the individual statistics, man, as we get going and get grooving and moving and grooving and get back into this thing. So let's kind of cover the waterfront on that. What's your thoughts on what you've seen today from the Saints?
Well, they're still not able to move the ball. I don't know if the players have confidence right now to make the plays. They're moving the ball like they're still in practice. I just noticed, like I said, even the quarterbacks, even when they have time, they overthrowing guys, or they getting chased out of the pocket. Denver pressured them all day, even with their starters. They had the plays. They had the starters, and then they put pressure on the Saints quarterback. The offensive line wasn't doing the job efficiently. They was able to get some running plays going. They was able to get some first downs, and they scored a few points. But the defense cannot stop the run, and they did let them pass down the field on with no pressure on the quarterback. They got a couple of sacks, but I'm seeing these things happening, and we can't stop anybody. And we're ready to go into the regular season, son, and we can't stop Tyler, the little young quarterback for the Cardinals, man. It's gonna be a long day for us. I ain't kidding. He'll take off and run on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Pops, we talked about it off stream about the fact that the Saints have an issue with the mobile quarterback threat, and
yes,
Murray is definitely that. He'll take off on you and move around on you. So that's a whole nother set of circumstances that we got to deal with. So, man, it's going to be interesting going forward, man. We got to figure this thing out. But you're absolutely right. I've been kind of scanning and looking around for anything going on. A lot of teams are making moves that's not the Saints right now. So I think we'll see what's happening. The Falcons released 12 players from their team already, so they get geared down. Of course, the Saints just stopped playing, so they a lot of teams is pairing this thing now, man. They got until Tuesday to get it all together. So yeah, a lot of teams are making moves already. We hadn't heard not one apricot from the Saints about what they're going to do, but I know that's eventually going to come. I know Jaheim Bell, the tight end from the Patriots, got released, and he could be something. I think he's a pretty good one. The Giants released a bunch of players, and this was like the other day. So, but anyway, Pops, what is the biggest points of contention what the Saints need to work on here? We talked about the fact that galvanization of the offense, the defense did show something early on. The offense still missing a couple of pieces. Kamara played a handful of snaps, so did McCoy. But we expect the stability of the offensive line to improve if you get McCoy and Elvin Kamara, the team's best offensive player, together. I mean, we should see something galvanizing, should we?
We should be able to run that ball. If we get the get our pieces back, our stables back in that offensive line. We should be able to open some holes where we can run the ball. But we also have to pass block as well. We have to be able to pass block as well because look, if we can't pass block, our quarterback's gonna get laid down on the dirt, made a roadmap out of it. So, we still got a lot of stuff, a lot of things we got to work on, and we got a little time. We can, I'm quite sure Coach will get it together with them and set them down and look, and they'll run film, they'll run through plays, they'll do practice, and try to get ready. Because the thing is, you got to try to get ready for. I would be getting ready for a scrambling quarterback because they will come in here ready to play, and we've proven so far this season that. In all 4 of our preseason games, we seem not to have the ability to handle the starters of these teams that's coming in here. I mean,
Right.
Denver, they moved the football at will.
They really did.
I'm thinking they didn't even have. I don't think they even punted the ball. They might have punted it once.
One
That's
time.
what I'm saying. So if you can't stop the run, you can't stop the offense, get the offense off the field. It's going to be a long season for us if we don't get that part of aspect of our game taken care of with our offensive line. I still see problems with the offensive line.
What in particular? What in particular you see with the offensive line? And
they're running up the middle more, and they also like the sweeps. They get nice yardage on sweeps. They run the sweeps to the left or to the right mostly, and then they pick up yardage.
Mm-hmm.
So. Our man, there was a lot of missed tackles. You have to tackle. They need tackling drills because they missed a lot of tackles too. You had guys, Denver players that you could have had down and stopped them on 4th down. They ran right out of the tackles. They can't tackle. You got to tackle the guy, wrap him up, and then put him on the ground. But they had a lot of issues with tackling today, especially that second team. The second team unit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, guys were getting run over like the team Denver was running all over. And when they stop them, they had already made the first down. The key to the thing is stopping them before they get to the first down marker. And they didn't stop anybody. They really did. I mean, that's how you end up with 28 points on the board because your defensive line. I understand they second string players. But if you want to make this roster, you better show coach that you can tackle, that you can read defenses, read offenses, and then make sure you stay in your lane where you can stop somebody. If a guy's coming towards you in your lane, you got to shut that lane down. This is my space where I'm gonna be playing. If you come in here, I'm gonna put you on the ground. It's like the old adage, the old basketball adage. It's my ball. This is my ball, and I'm gonna play with my ball. When I get the ball, it's my ball. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you do it. But I mean, that's just some of the things that I were when I was listening to the game. They were getting gashed. We're still getting gashed. I mean, our first line, first teamers, they played a lot better. So they may be easing into it, but they still got run on, and they still got the ball moved on. They still gave up a touchdown. If some guy takes his mind off his duty, and you got a guy wide open back there in the field. If a football is just thrown up by a quarterback on one of their plays, guy throws the football up, the quarterback going down. I think he was going down. And then if you're around that wide receiver, you better get your hands on him or get your hands up there because it's a jump ball. You got to knock that ball down and intercept it. But the ball went right to the Broncos receiver for a score. I mean, 3 guys back there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, what are y'all doing? He's supposed to get it. Larry's supposed to. Mo didn't get it. Come on, dude. It's like the 3 Stooges up there. And man just caught the football, batting it around. You're not supposed to bat that football around. You should. What they should have done was knock the ball down, and then instead of letting the guy catch it. He just threw it up there. He said, "Well, I'm gonna throw it, but my guy can go get it," and he did.
Yeah, that really was 3 Stooges football, man. The guy just literally heaved it into the end zone. Yeah, and the Saints defenders had no idea where the ball was at because the guy just went and got it. And DeMarco Jackson was around there, and they just did not have any idea where the ball was, man. It was just that last drive was a joke. They couldn't stop him from running. Nope. The defense, the offense, their offense was just dislocating the Saints' backup defensive line. Right. And it was just preposterous. If they would have had one more solid stand, perhaps the Saints would have had an opportunity to make something happen. But then again, by that time, Jake Haener entered the game, and Jake Haener entered the game. Then a lot of things kind of changed. We see a lot of fudsy football, so to speak, with Jake Haener. I thought that Tyler Shough should have been given an opportunity to see if he can kind of salvage the game. And there was no need, Pops, for Jake Haener to enter that game. He's not a part of the competition. He's already settled in as the 3rd quarterback. What do you think about that? Why was the decision to put Jake Haener in the game? We know it's a competition, and it's still very close. Why enter Jake Haener there when you still don't know who the guy is going to be? Jake Haener should have never seen the field. I mean, it's still a competition between Tyler and Spencer.
It's all about reps. It's all about reps. You need reps. And if I was Coach Moore, I would have gave that. I think I would have played Tyler Shough a little more because he's big. He's a big, strong kid. He needs those reps. I think.
But why Haener though, Pops? As I'm asking, why is Haener there? Why put Haener in the game if it's a battle between Spencer and Shough? Why is Haener even in there? Why even throw him in there when you obviously see it's a close competition still with those guys? Why put Haener even in there? There's no need to see Haener right now. You see what I'm saying? If it's that close, he's optional. Yeah. Like we want to see these other guys compete. But what was your take on it? Some people believe that Kellen's seen enough of Shough to pull him out, and I just don't get it. I wouldn't have played Haener at all. He's a 3rd string quarterback. There's no need for him to get reps in a final preseason game for what?
Well, Kellen Moore, I think what his problem was, he wanted to try to see if he can juice the Haener up a little bit and see if he can see what he can do for a few snaps. I mean, they give very many snaps. I wouldn't have pulled Shough out because Shough was playing behind a 2nd string offensive line.
Shough, Pops. His name is Shough.
Yeah, Shough. Yeah. He was playing behind a 2nd string offensive line, son. So he's not going to have the protection that he needs to focus on what his game needs to be. Put him behind them starters and let him see what he can do. Now you still got this decision in the air right now. That who you going to start? Either one of them was able to distinguish themselves, but a lot of it was a result of that bad offensive line play. If you can't protect your quarterback, or you got defensive linemen getting in his face, I mean, you can't. You're not going to win like that.
Who personally do you think, if you had to make the call, to be the quarterback of starting the season? Who are you, Pops? Who you making the call to be the quarterback? What's your take?
I'll be honest with you. I would pick Rattler, and the reason I would pick Rattler because he does have a little bit more NFL experience playing. And at this point, I think that Tyler Shough is going to have to beat him out. And so they're going to open the season starting 2 quarterbacks. I don't know if that'll work. Somebody's got to step to the forefront and take over. And none of these guys have done anything. And Haener just way back there, backfield back there somewhere. They put him in there for a few snaps to see what he can do. And he just don't have it, throwing
Yeah.
interceptions, or throwing bad passes. I mean, you got to know what you got to be able to read the defense. That's what quarterbacks do. Good ones, they know when that ball. I'm gonna tell you right now, they know they only got 3.5 seconds max to get that ball out to whoever to the open person. See what I'm saying? To the open wide receiver or tight end or running back, whoever open. You got only 3.5 seconds maximum to get the ball to them. But they wait, they get the ball, they get the snap, and they dancing around and try to force the ball in, they get picked off. Or they get pat down,
It's going to be interesting this season. I also think Spencer Rattler should start too, Pops, because like you mentioned, the experience, and if you want to win right now, or you trying to look at what quarterback gives you the best opportunity, it's still Spencer Rattler. He gives you the best opportunity. I wasn't impressed with none of them operating the first teams, but perhaps like I said, when you get McCoy and Elvin and they get to the 53-man roster and they can start focusing on the skill set of the first team, maybe we'll see something different. I mean, but anything better than what we were seeing over the last 3 weeks of spot play from the offense. So maybe more focus in that area when we get to week-to-week action, when guys can actually be in there. And maybe we'll see a difference. We have to. If not, it's going to be a long season, no doubt about it.
And we don't want another long season. They can play their cards right. They can play if all the offensive players get the because they need that running game to complement Rattler's passing game. And if you don't have and Denver knew they wasn't going to run the ball. They knew they weren't going to run it. So they could use those people to play the passing lanes. But if you hit them with a couple of hard runs and blast a few of them off the line of scrimmage, and that can be done, then your passing game would open up. But if the defensive line is doing their job up front and keeping your guys from getting to where they need to get at, holding them up, they gonna possibly win the game because they're not gonna sit back there. They gonna sit back there and play the lanes, and then Rattler, if he's not on his game thinking, trying to think and get his game face on, he gonna throw. You gonna get sacked, or he gonna throw an interception. It's gonna take time for these. It's gonna take time for these guys to learn. I mean, I don't expect them. They might beat the Cardinals, but I don't see it. If they stop that running game, if they can control that little quarterback that plays for them, for St. Louis, if they can control him, I mean, Arizona, whoever it was. But anyway, if they can control him, they might have a shot. But if the Cardinals run the ball on the Saints, it's gonna be a long day. A long day.
It's going. We're gonna have to see how it go, Pops, because we got to get to find out who the people are gonna be straightforward. To be honest with you,
right?
In the Black and Gold Nation, we got to figure out who the guys are gonna be. I'm thinking it'll be Tyler, but man, we shall see. I got a poll up for the family members out there, man. Feel free to get your vote in on the poll. Simple. Who should start week number 1? Poll up in the chat right now. We got 100 plus in the building. Do us a service. Hit the like button. Sub up if you're not a sub. Sub up to the coma. Also, feel free to share the links on your social media feed. We up in this thing. Shout out to my people on Facebook, Instagram, and all across the Twitter, X rather, Kick, all these places, man. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for being LinkedIn. All these spots, shout out to you guys. Even Reddit, shout out to my peoples on Reddit. So that's the whole point about, going forward, man. We got 2 weeks to get ready for the season. They had some issues, man, with some of the guys getting hurt, man, in today's matchup. To be honest with you, Pops, a couple of guys got banged up. We seen Landon Young got carted off today.
Yes, I remember that.
Shane Lemieux, who the Saints brung in, was also a guy that was supposed to be a good backup for him, or a guy they can rely on. He ultimately hobbled off a field. He left on his own power, but he looked pretty bad hobbling off the field. So this is something we're dealing with. So the Saints offensive line looking kind of banged up there, man. I mean, they got some of the backups are banged up. So we knew this is also a point that we have to look at in terms of improving the teams. With all of these guys being cut, the Saints ultimately, we know they're going to pick up a few guys, man. I don't see another trade happening out there in terms of the Saints. Maybe not. I just don't see them trade for anything. We've seen the 49ers got Brian Robinson Jr. from the Washington Whataburgers, but in the end, they needed help. Most of their running backs were hurt, so they kind of had to bite the bullet on that. So, Pops, what you think? What's your thought process on the Saints looking at trades or something like that? You see any trades? What position in your mind needs more fortification?
The left guard, right guard, they need help, on the ends. But I think they're gonna focus on trying to bring somebody in that's already experienced to play the sides of the offensive line where they got injuries at. They're gonna need somebody to spell until those guys get healthy again. Then we don't know the whole nature of what kind of injuries they got. If it's a turf toe, if it's something real, like that, or a bad ankle, or what it is, you're gonna be out. That guy could be out for weeks before he gets back to play. You can't put any weight on it. You can't push off his foot if he's got these problems with his toes and with his calf and legs. Because those big defensive, you gotta be able to keep them guys off the quarterback. Don't let them just close the gap, shoot the gap to get to him. I think Kellen's gonna address that issue coming up here. Over this span while we off. They may be bringing in some people because they cut theirs loose, but you said the Atlanta Falcons turned a lot of them loose too. Yeah,
they got a couple of teams that put some of them guys out there on the street, and I think probably we start seeing that the Saints gonna take a breather, and by tomorrow you'll start hearing guys pair off. They're not going to just wait one day and then you see a bunch of people fall off the map. Saints going to start cutting people Monday because the Tuesday is the deadline.
Right.
So you're going to see.
It already cut some up. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah, it hadn't been reported if they did. Mm-hmm. But they right now they're going through the evaluation process to figure out who some of these guys are. I mean, what do you before we get into the projection? The roster projection. Let's kind of think about this for a second. Like, who do you see a player making the team? Which player, a player making the team? Give me a couple of players who you think did enough and should make this team without a shadow of doubt.
Well, what's the little wide receiver that plays today? Tipton. I think Tipton has an excellent chance of making the roster. And the other little guy on the other side, a little wide receiver,
Pettis.
Them two, they have a shot at making the team.
How many wide receivers you think the Saints keep, Pops?
I think 5.
5 of them. What's your 5?
Okay, Pettis, and then you got Pettis, Tipton. Mm-hmm. You got Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
And then who else? You got another guy that played with him last
year. Olavi,
yeah, definitely. Olavi and Rashid.
So what about Velli? They traded for Velli. You got 5, Pop. Somebody got to go.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Velli makes the team.
They traded 2 picks to get Velli, Pop. So I think he makes the team. You don't think he does?
At running back?
At wide receiver, the 6'5", the 6'5" wide receiver they traded from the Denver Broncos a couple days back.
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot about him. Yeah, you know what? I think he have a good shot at making a team. So one of them guys is not going to make it, either Pettis. And I'm thinking they're going to hold on to Tipton because Tipton's a big wide receiver too.
Okay.
He's kind of looked like he built on all of what his name is, the big guy that plays wide receiver for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans.
Oh yeah.
He's built like Mike Evans.
Not Tipton, Pops. Tipton is Tipton's a little fella. You're talking about Velli.
Belly, yeah.
Belly,
one guy tall. Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah, the big guy, 6'5". Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He might have a shot. I'm not too. I haven't seen much of him.
Let me ask you this: what do you think about Brandon Cooks? You think Brandon Cooks makes the cut?
Yeah, I think so because of his experience.
So Pettis, in your mindset, in 5 wide receivers, if you had the choice to choose between Dante Pettis and Brandon Cooks, you would take Cooks over Pettis?
Yeah, for his experience.
Okay.
Yeah, well, his experience. I think because Cook's been in the league for a long time. He knows how to get open, you know. And this is the problem we have. We don't our guys got to be able to get open. So he can throw the quarterbacks, regardless of who starts, can get them the ball. But everything starts with that offensive line. And that offensive line right now is hurting. And they're not able to protect these quarterbacks. So I'm hoping that by the time the game starts, we're being to stabilize that offensive line a little bit while our quarterbacks can operate.
Yes, amen to that, Pops. I mean,
But
it's a lot.
It's going to be a big advantage having Kamara in that backfield. You know, because Kamara hits those holes. He don't play.
Yeah, having him and Kendre Miller also had a very solid camp. I like how Kendre Miller has played this in the training camp and into the preseason. He was very good as well. I just think it's pretty cool to see him back healthy. He's looking healthy, running the ball strong. If we can get a good full season of him in complement with Elvin Kamara, we might be all right. But the offensive line is something that I just have an issue with. That they got to improve the play. I think that's the biggest point of contention, because if we can't run the ball, there's not going to be a lot of success to be had.
No, we're not going to have it.
All right. So, go ahead, Pops. You wanted to
I'm just saying, we don't get that under control, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, indeed, man. All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the like button for us. Shout out KK. Shout out to your Roll Mont Dog. What's happening, fam? Brother John said, I think Moore saw what he needed to see from Rattler and Shough. Okay, thank you, bro. Big Valley said, I think we need better corners. Big Valley said better corners. Okay, you know, Alontae Taylor didn't play, but Alontae Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry kind of got it handed to him today. Sutton, the bigger wide receiver, they was throwing that and testing Kool-Aid McKinstry. So that might be something that we got to get used to too, because people are going to test Kool-Aid. He got to make a name for himself out there. The truth is this: number one says back to the drawing board. The Saints needs are at backup running back and at least a 10-year veteran QB along with a real GM. No, hold on now, goddammit. Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot going on right there. Dudley Third says, LOI, I won't be surprised if the Saints pick Shough, even though us Saints family members want Rattler. Indeed, bro. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Big Pond says the O-line getting hurt because they're not pushing through the play. They got a few seconds, then stop keeping the drive through the D-line. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Big Pond Sellers Senior. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. As Wagpack says, I think Rattler should start because he has NFL starts last season, at least a little bit of an edge. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Slim says Cesar Ruiz is trash. Okay, all right. Appreciate that, bro. Firearm says, LOL, he don't even know who Veli is. But he forgot about the Veli, but it's all right, brother. We got it together. All right, just chill. All right. So anyway. Saints Full Circle Podcast says we need O-line coming in 2 weeks. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. All right. Pop said he Tipton's 5'11", but yeah, we that's what we here to get it straight. But Mason Tipton is a guy. It is an undersized guy, but the guy Mason Tipton makes big plays. He's a small player, but he makes big plays. Dante Pedersen, and like we had this talking point on the show, going into it about whether or not Mason the Brandon Cooks thing that we talked about, people that I think will make the team that shouldn't make the team. Now we haven't heard anything about Brandon Cooks, but there are usually surprise cuts. Are there going to be surprise cuts this time around? Let me hear from the Who Dat Nation. Let y'all put it in the chat. Y'all give me one surprise cut, maybe two. Y'all give me two surprise cuts that you think will happen on Tuesday. A guy that we didn't think the Saints would get rid of, and they got rid of, and maybe a surprise keep. How about this? A surprise cut and a surprise keep. Okay, give me one and one. Surprise cut and surprise keep. Pops, to you. Who's a surprise cut and a surprise keep? Who you think makes it?
If anybody they would do a surprise cut, it probably would be Cooks. His experience, that would be definitely a surprise cut. And that's about the only one I've got my mind thinking on with him. Because he is a little older, but he's pretty good with running his route running. But he would be a surprise if they cut, a surprise cut to me.
And who do you think a surprise keep pop somebody that should have got cut but the Saints kept?
I'm not sure. I think it's tight end. I don't get too much. I haven't heard too much about their tight ends.
I mean, they're not the backups guy, Trayden Welch and what's his name, Jack Stoll, the backup tight end, the blocker that Kellen Moore brung with him down here from Philadelphia. I think he makes the squad, but and Trayden Welch is the best of the undrafted guys. Maybe Matabo, the big 7-round, the 6'8", 7-round pick tight end from UCLA. He had 3 catches today. Saints trying to get him involved. Maybe they see him as a potential guy down the line. But who do you think a surprise keep that should have got cut, Pops? Who you think?
Oh man, depending on who played today, who didn't play. I'm offense, along the offense or the defense.
It don't matter because look, this is what some of the family members are saying. And my dog, shout out to my dog, said Cook's getting cut and Hainer. All right, so a cut and the keep. One that a guy that would surprise you that they cut, and a one that it would surprise you to keep. Let me explain it that way. So he got Cooks getting cut and Hainer. Saints Full Circle podcast says you cut Brandon Cooks and keep Foskey. That's what I'm saying, Pops.
He ain't lying.
Because that's I'm be honest with you, man. That would be mine. So Saints Full Circle podcast, he nailed it right on the head. I think it should a guy they should cut because listen, I know the experience angle, but the guy will be, we know Valley, you give up picks to Valley's going to be a top 3 wide receiver. I've said this before. Valley's going to be within the top 3. Brandon Cooks is making $13 million for 2 years, $6.5 million over the next couple of years to be a 4th wide receiver, where Mason Tipton is basically doing what he does now. He's just showing what, as a 4th wide receiver, and B. Cooks has no special teams application.
Right.
So what's the purpose of keeping him there? So, I mean, and then, of course, Pettis is a guy that a lot of people like Pettis, and Pettis is showing that he could play in the games and make a play for you at wide receiver. Yeah. And he also has special team application as well. So, I mean, it's something that you got to weigh here if you're the New Orleans Saints. Right. And if you're looking for those guys. So, that's a good one right there by the Saints Full Circle podcast. Because that's what I was looking at. That's what I was thinking. But go ahead, Pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good analysis there. I do think it's possible that Cook could roll out, and Pettis got good hands too. So we want, and then they looking at money. So I'm thinking they're gonna make some cuts. They won't be keeping all them wide receivers. I can promise you that. But I'm thinking that they're gonna try to get rid of Cooks, and then I don't know if they're gonna get rid of Hainer, because Hainer has not shown me anything in this preseason. Really. I'm gonna throw the ball down. What is his height? He must be short or something. He can't look like he can't see down the field right. He's like, it's possible they could cut him, but I don't see him. They want to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Right. Yeah, so I think that's the only thing that saves him.
Yeah, so he's probably stuck here. They don't want to put him out there, out there in the field for somebody else to look at, possibly take him. So I think he's got it. He's got it locked down. But I'm thinking Cooks is one of the picks that they're probably going to be releasing.
Yeah, and that would be my, and shout out to the Saints Full Circle podcast as well as Slim. They mention it. I commonsensically. That's what I think makes sense. Also, can see the angle of people saying, "Q, we need a veteran wide receiver in case of this, that, and the third." That's what the practice squad is for. We can stash it. And I'm pretty sure Cedric Wilson Jr. will end up on the practice squad. Or Kevin Austin. I know Kevin Austin Jr. got banged up today. I don't think it's supposed to be something long term. We'll get the more information later on. But you should have they're going to have at least 2 or 3 wide receivers on that practice squad to help out. And no doubt about it, Hunter Deckers, who's the camp arm for the Saints this season, more than likely is probably going to end up on the Saints practice squad as well. So, the Saints obviously don't care about the money. For him to be making $13 million as a fourth string wide receiver over the next couple of years, obviously they don't care. Saints still got $20 plus million in cap right now. So if they want, they have a leverage. They got money and they've been using their draft capital. The Saints trying to move around and do whatever. They did a trade a player for a player, then they use picks for a player. So they're using every metric they possibly can. They improve the book in their mindset. Mr. O says surprise cut Cesar Ruiz, not a surprise Cooks. not gonna happen, brother. I hear you on there. A lot of people been looking at Cesar Ruiz, how he's been playing lately, and like I've been saying, fam, welcome to the party. What's up, Clint? Because I've been talking about Cesar Ruiz play for a while now. I've been talking about how he's very inconsistent in what he's doing. And Pops, this is my thought process on Isaiah Foskey. It does make sense for like the family members. They're saying they're 100%, they're 1,000% right when we talk about Isaiah Foskey and should Foskey make the team. Like, should Foskey makes the team. Of course, if you look at his production and his play, what he did in training camp this year and in the preseason, hell no, he shouldn't make the team. But he's a high-ranking second round pick the Saints picked up 3 years ago. This is the start of his third year. So is it likely the Saints are going to cut Isaiah Foskey and a second-round pick that they got from Notre Dame going into his third year? Are they really going to release Isaiah Foskey and draw the ire of the Who Dat Nation saying they don't know how to draft? They didn't do that and I know these other guys are first round picks. They didn't do that with Davenport. They damn sure didn't do that with Payton Turner. They don't usually let those guys, those high picks like that get cut and then they get exposed for picking the wrong players and not putting them in the system. They usually hang on to those guys and try to give them every opportunity to make a contribution. Like we see what happened with Trevor Penning. Penning is severely underdeveloped as an offensive lineman here. They can't find a place for him at left tackle. They didn't find a place for him at right tackle. Now he's playing in guard. And now he's hurt. Nick Seldeveria, a guy we brought here, can't stay healthy at all. Supposed to play all positions, but magnificently plays none of them because he's hurt all the damn time. It's a lot of stuff going on. So, but that's the thought process on Isaiah Foskey. Yeah. Me personally, I don't think they cut Isaiah Foskey because of that point. What you think? What do you think about that?
I agree with that. I think Foskey can contribute. In the right scheme. He can contribute, to the defense, and he is a kind of a player that likes to get in the middle of things and mix things up. I think they can possibly hold on to him. They'll probably hold on to him.
But you know who makes the call? It's me. Hold on now, goddammit! Hold on, I'm not gonna. I'm Foskey. I cut Foskey. Hold on, I don't know these guys. Oh my God. I'm not letting that guy go. This is the guy they try to keep Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. Oh my God, hold on now, Derek, please. Dennis, hold on, Dennis. I should have supported him more. Hold on. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'll say y'all remember who your leadership is. Man. These people, they got all kind of stuff with them. So I know a lot of people are right. If the player is underperforming, he hasn't really done anything. But the guy's he's a 40th second round. He's 40th overall. Going into his third year, and they go talk about put him in the street, bro. It's not gonna happen. I will come out and tell the Who Dat Nation, y'all were right, y'all 100% right. This, that, and the third. If they pull the trigger, August 26th, and then bam, like Foskey's in the street. I would be really surprised because that's not how the Saints operate. They're gonna hold on to them picks and try to give them every advantage that he possibly get, just like they did Penning, just like, they're going to try to move these guys around, try to find a spot to justify the pick. We'll see who's right, though.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, and these cuts should be coming out within a few minutes or within an hour or so, Slim Flower say Foskey's garbage. That's the kind of player they hold on to. It's garbage. That's the reason we're
He ain't lying.
That's why we where we are. I mean, come on, man. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny, pops. It's funny. Dr. Gray said Loomis players are not that good. Hold on, Dr. Gray. Hold on. God damn it. Hold on. Watch out. Hold on. You're not qualified to criticize me. You got to get the qualifications. Go to MickeyLoomis.com and all. As far as you heard that when Mickey Loomis told a reporter that they wasn't qualified, they said the reporter works for the ESPN World article saying that the Saints had the worst depth chart in the NFL. I think they were ranked 32nd. And one of the reporters asked Mickey Loomis about, the thought process about it. Mickey Loomis told him, I don't listen to those guys. They're not qualified. And I was like, what do you mean? They were so scary they needed to follow that up and say, well, Mickey, what do you mean? Because they're attacking one of the reporters. That's one of your own.
Right.
He asks, well, Mickey, what do you mean by not? Because he keeps saying you're not qualified. What qualifies you to have an opinion about your team? I mean, what is the qualifications, Mickey Loomis? So they don't ask that. So I went online now. God damn it, I'll tell you. Go to slickmickey.com and you get your qualifications there. You get your package and you get it. It comes with tax papers and just put all your personal information in there. Why now? God damn it, I won't tattle on you. So I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But anyway. Look at Dr. Gray. He says these Loomis guys can't contribute, would not be in the league if not for the Saints. Thank you. Shout out Dr. Gray. English says Loomis just traded for a player that was beaten out by a player. Oh my God damn it. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Hold on. It's the new coaching time. You pick on him. Hold on. God damn it. Yeah, Mickey don't want no part of that. The Who Dat Nation coming for him, bro. They don't want it. All right, so anyway, fam, let me remind the family members, please feel free to get your vote in the chat. There's a poll chat going on right now. The question is, who should start for week 1? Of course, the options are Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler, and currently about almost 70 people have voted, and 64% of the voters have Spencer Rattler. 36 says Tyler Shough. So what say you, for those who are not have voted yet? Get your vote in and tell me who you guys think it should be. All right, Dr. Grads, Q Saints need a legit president of personnel who can build a team. Indeed, sir. I agree. I think Mickey Loomis time's up. We've been saying that. Okay, Mickey wants to hang around, just lets him be the vice president because he has 2 jobs. He's a VP and general manager, but the VP is a less visible job. The general manager is visible, and I think he enjoys being seen and asked questions. If he just comes a VP and nobody asks him making nothing, they just go into the general manager. But he likes being seen. He's kind of got a little bit of attention whore in him. So that's something interesting. JT says, Q, I just won more wins than last year. 5 wins is all we had. Are we better than last year's team? Led by Dennis Allen. I personally said that we are 2 wins better because we don't have Dennis Allen as our head coach. I think, Pops, you spot us 2 wins because we don't have that buffoon running the team anymore. Him and Derek Carr spot us 2. That's 2 wins right there. So I do think that this is a better team. Even if you win 7 games, I still say this is a better team than what we had last year because you didn't have a leader on that team last year. You had a bunch of excuse makers on top of the team, and we can't win with that. No. All right, anyway. And that's the part. All right, so Pops, we're gonna move into this aspect of the show now. We'll go to Times Picayune had an article, 53-man roster projection, and this is what their thoughts on it as we kind of get into the aspect. And y'all tell me if y'all agree on this here. And let me see who the writer is. I'm shout him out. Matt Paras, who wrote this article for Times Picayune. And after the preseason games are in the books, the Saints have to get from 90 to 53 before Tuesday's 3 p.m. league-wide deadline. This year's training camp features several competitive battles at various positions. Who will the Saints keep? Let's get to the final prediction. Y'all tell me if y'all agree upon this. Of course, the quarterback battle, he got it lined up, Spencer, Tyler, and Jake Haener. Jake Haener was the odd man out in the Saints starting quarterback competition as camp progressed, but he didn't perform poorly enough to cost him a roster spot. And as a tight in some of these other position battles are, it would be surprising to see the Saints only roll with two quarterbacks on their roster. And of course, maybe that have changed. If Taysom Hill was healthy, then maybe you could have had him in as emergency quarterback. But of course,
Right.
I believe Taysom Hill starts the starts the year on the list, and then ultimately, you got to be on there for about 4 weeks before you get a look see. And I think that really Taysom Hill probably will come back somewhere around week 5, somewhere for the Giants game. That's what I think, but we'll see. Foster Moreau, I have no idea on Foster. But anyway, running back situation: Elvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and Velus Jones Jr. After leaving Kendre Miller off the previous projection, it's time to do about face. Miller has clearly locked down the number 2 running back spot over the last few weeks, doing so by running hard and stringing together consistent practices. He looks healthy and explosive. The second-year back responded to the coach's apparent test early in the camp. As for the last 4th spot, he says Jones get the slight nod over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So that's the move right there. So I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire played really well, but I understand what they're saying. Second year back responded. But that one is really tricky since Clyde Edwards-Helaire might provide better pass protection, but practice squad spot might be on its way. So they keep 4 running backs and 6 wide receivers. He got 6 wide receivers here. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Devon Valley, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton, and Dante Pettis. 6 wide receivers. The Saints' acquisition of Valley leaves veteran Cedric Wilson on the chopping block. It wouldn't be just surprised if he lands back on the practice squad. However, because of his run blocking ability and previous time with Kellen Moore in Dallas. Elsewhere, Tipton, whom Shough labeled MVP of the camp, isn't going anywhere, and Pettis lands a spot to serve as the team's punt returner. So as opposed to battling and saying, hey, man, we need to do this, that, and the third, he just says, we got 6 guys. So you have 4 running backs and 6 wide receivers. All right, anyway, let's keep it going. And then, of course, let's do the offensive line. 9 people: Kelvin Banks Jr., Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Tali Fuaga, Dylan Runens. Landon Young is hurt. Somebody said Landon Young's injury is not as bad as we think, but I don't know if he'll be ready for whatchamacallit game. So Luke Fortner and Torrey Simpkins. Injuries have already been a concern for this group after they were absolutely decimated last year. Penning is reportedly dealing with turf toe that could cause him to miss week 1, and Fuaga is dealing with a knee injury, albeit that Moore said was nothing major. Then in Saturday's preseason finale, Young was carted off with an ankle injury, so the status is uncertain. The team traded for Luke Fortner following Will Clapp's season-ending foot injury. Simpkins, meanwhile, is a nice story after impressing in the undrafted free agency. But I don't, as free agent, I don't know if, to put it mildly, if Landon Young is going to be that guy. It might be somebody else. Might be somebody the Saints pick up off the waiver wire as a veteran backup, because I know they said it ain't much, but hell, in 2 weeks, will he be ready to play? I mean, to back up? I don't know. And, of course, moving to tight end. The Saints keep 3 tight ends: Juwan Johnson, Jake Stahl, and Trayton Welch. Every coach stresses the competition. And even if Moore means it, then they'll be reflected in keeping Welch, who joined the practice squad late last season. Over 7th-round rookie Olike Matavo, Welch not only stood out more in preseason, but the 24-year-old has been playing time in practice. Taysom Hill knee and Foster's knee won't be ready for the start of the regular season, putting them on the physically unable to perform list. So there you go. So to kind of do a brief recap of the starting the starting offense: Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shough, Jake Haener at quarterback. 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs: Elvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, Velus Jones Jr. I don't have no problem with this order. I think Elvin Kamara did a good job he's going to be the guy. Kendre Miller did a wonderful job to reinstill confidence and how he played in the training camp preseason in these games. Devin Neal showed enough in this game that he can be counted upon, because he's a guy that the Saints drafted, and they're really excited about him. And Velus Jones Jr. was somebody that was very awesome. A lot of people had Velus Jones all the way in the back of the depth chart, and all Velus did was come in there and play running back and catch the ball and return. He's an everything player. So Velus slips in there and steals a roster spot. How about Velus Jones Jr.? And then the Saints go 6 wideouts. Instead of haggling back and forth, who should we keep? The writer says, man, because we can find a place for all of them, right? Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Devon Valley, the big wide receiver, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton, and Pettis. Not bad. And you can see people that go Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, waving at the Saints family members, say, ha ha ha, I'm going to make the team. Cesar Ruiz, Kelvin Banks, Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Tali Fuaga, Dylan Redunce, Landon Young, we'll look at Landon Young, Luke Fortner, and Torrey Sally Simpkins. 9 offensive linemen. So 5 starters, 4 backups, and tight end Jawan Johnson, Jake Stahl, and Trayton Welch as tight end. Pops, what do you think about this, man? This offensive picks thus far before we go over to the defense. You like what you see? You see?
I like what I see here. I like the offensive line. If we can hold it together and get these injuries, deal with the injuries. But I like the running back picks. I like the offensive line. The people that's going to be playing in the offensive line and the wide receivers, the quarterbacks. I figured it would change, But the 4 running backs, yeah, these guys can contribute, especially Kamara and Kendrick Miller, until Devin Neal gets his legs back under. And I like the 6 wide receivers. If any of them one up to go, they probably would do Brandon Cooks. But I like the entire group. I like the group. They got a little speed there.
Yeah, they got a track team. Pops Valley is the big. All these guys can move. Beyond all of them got good 40 times, man, to run. So if anything, you see Kellen Moore's built the track team. Even Devon Valley, the big wide receiver, 6'5" wide receiver they traded, he runs a 4.47 in the 40. Ran that at the NFL Combine. So these guys can all move. Got quite the track team. There's a bunch of speedsters. So the Saints need that in case the guys' defenses want to pile up on that damn line of scrimmage. We can unleash the beast and have it Spencer to throw that ball downfield or Tyler to sling that ball downfield, man. That's reality.
That's the advantage of having that big. That's how Mike Evans survived all this. Was he's got the height and he gets over these smaller defensive backs. Now we have somebody possibly could counter that when we play against the Bucs. We play them twice a year. We look like we got somebody who can hang. We'll be able to hang with them with that.
Indeed.
And then they got that's the Foskey man, huh?
Foskey the snowman.
Yeah, Foskey. Yeah. They want to keep him? Are they planning on keeping him?
Well, we're gonna see what he got on the 54 here. It's going to the defense now, fam. Y'all put y'all thoughts in there about the offense. Edge rusher, they keeping 4. Chase Young, Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan, and Chris Rump. Chris Rump had a very solid camp at preseason. He has been in another one of these unsung, undrafted guy. Well, not undrafted guy, but a guy that came from another team that Brandon Staley had played. Well, I think he was with the Rams. And a guy just came in here, fit whatever he did, and just lined up and handled business. Interior defensive guys, they're keeping 6. Brian Bresee, Devin Godcho, Nathan Shepard, Vernon Brockton, Jonathan Bullitt, and Christian Boyd, who had a hand issue that I don't think they think much of it. Good. And then the writer says, Pops, first line, goodbye, Isaiah Foskey. The 2023 second rounder's impact has been little to none this summer, despite the coaching staff giving him ample opportunities in the preseason. That's been the story of his disappointing career, too. Elsewhere, the toughest call on the roster might be whether to keep Bullard, Jonah Williams on the fifth edge rusher. Williams and Bullitt have both played for defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, but Bullitt has gotten occasional work with the ones and played ahead of Williams in Saturday's preseason finale against the Broncos. But at the same time, would the Saints be better off using that spot on, say, a 7th-round edge rusher like Fadil Diggs? Decision. Fadil Diggs also has had a pretty impressive camp. The 7th-round draft pick, linebacker, defense. Like he's a tweener guy, but really has had a solid camp. And them picking this guy up, he's been impressive. The linebackers, 5 linebackers. So if he's running a 34 defense, we got 5: DeMario, Pete Werner, Danny Stutzman, DeMarco Jackson, and Jalen Ford. This one, another doozy. Similar to Welch's case, Ford's preseason performances could give him the edge over Nephi Sewell or Isaiah Stallbird, 2 standouts on special teams. But Ford also excels in the area and was regarded as one of the best special teamers coming out of 2024's draft. DeMarco Jackson makes the cut, according to the writer. Me personally, I would take Nephi Sewell or Isaiah Stallbird, both undrafted guys, over DeMarco Jackson. He made a few plays, but I see better upside from Sewell and Stallbird. That's just me. Cornerbacks, 5 cornerbacks: Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alante Taylor, Isaac Yiadom, Quincy Riley, and Ugo Amadi. No problem. Safeties: Justin Reed, Julian Blackman, Jordan Howden, Jonas Sanker, and JT Gray. And then, of course, we talk about the breakdown. Omadi beats out Terrell Burgess as the backup nickel hybrid safety. Burgess made a strong case for a roster spot, but an injury-laden camp derailed his process or progress. And when he returned, Amadi seemed to have a stronghold on the spot. Ugo Amadi, too, is very effective as a blitzer, a good open field tackler, too, and the guy's always around the ball. Always want those type of players. And, of course, the specialists. Blake Grupe, no surprise. Zach Wood, no surprise because he had no competition. And they take Kai Kroger. If the Saints punter isn't on the roster, it wouldn't be a total shock for now. Penciling Kroger over James Burner. People believe Kai Kroger may have the inside edge on James Burner. But I do like James Burner, but I really was impressed with Kai Kroger's punting when he got here early. So that's some of the picks on the specialists and the defense. So Pop's talking about the defense, man. When you think about some of the gets, do you agree with what the writer was saying about all of the guys that they keep, or do you agree with keeping DeMarco Jackson? What do you think about some of his pick selections on the defensive side?
I think they're all pretty decent picks. I think there may be few selections that a little bit questionable. The biggest impact will be injuries. I mean, that group of defensive players, they all got great upside, most of them, and so I'm thinking like the cornerbacks. I love them. I love the cornerback room, and the safety room is not bad either. So that secondary back there is going to be one of the strengths of the defense. The key to it is being able to make the tackles when they get the ball thrown in their direction. They got to be able to make tackles because they missed a lot of tackles today. Yeah, and tackling is a big issue. If you plan on making any kind of move toward getting to the playoff, your defense has to stop the run, tackle well, put the player down. Sometimes you can't, but you got to give your best effort.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. Shout out to Who Dat Record says Jacine Davis. And Jacine Davis has had a solid camp to me. This is an undrafted guy the Saints gave. Like, remember the year when they brought Carl Grandison and they gave Carl Grandison more undrafted money than any other player at that time. That happened with Jacine Davis. They paid Jacine Davis more money than any undrafted guy to sign. And he wears number 59. He makes plays. He came in there, and I think he did outplay DeMarco Jackson. It's just what it is. Some people see it, some people don't. Also, Rico Payton. The writer had the Saints taking 5 safeties and 5 cornerbacks, but no doubt about it, I think we know who the top 3 guys are in Kool-Aid, Alante, Yiadom because of his money. He's played well. Quincy Riley's made a name for himself to be there as well. Ugo Amadi's played into a good position. And like he said, you have a cornerback that can fill in that safety if you need him to. JT Gray's a guy that's mostly there for special teams. You don't want JT Gray playing safety for you. He's not really that good. And Blackman, Jordan Howden, and Jonas Sanker, those are solid picks. But yeah, it would be surprising to see, if he did go 6 versus 5. But that would also kind of play into the to the wide receiver position, because remember, he spent that extra draft pick in the wide receiver room. If you have 5 wideouts and Cooks is gone, then that extra spot goes to your cornerback, and that's Rico Payton, in my opinion. But, like I said, I can't find fault outside of what people was talking about Rico Payton and Jacine Davis and this kind of stuff. But 6 wideouts, man, that would be interesting. All right. So anyway, who they said Moore said he hadn't given up on Foskey already. Okay. All right. Mr. O says, Q, do we really just trust Juwan as a tight end? They paid him, bro. They paid him. They basically paid Juwan Johnson. They gave him a 3-year, 3 years? What was it? $10 million a year? It's like $30 million for 3 years. Basically like $10 million a year. So, I mean, they made him, the contract as far as the tight in the NFL, it's like what, a top 12 contract in terms of it. So they gave him good money to be the starting tight end. Yes, indeed. They're going to trust him. Now, he had a blocked, a dropped it. Well, it was not a drop. It was a holding penalty that kind of stalled the drive with him doing it. But that's Juwan Johnson. He's not a very good blocker.
Right.
Yeah, that's what a lazy man would do, as opposed to go there and do it the right way. He gonna grab and do that kind of stuff and hope that the people don't catch him. You got to move your damn feet and do what you're supposed to do. You can't be doing all the slight stuff. You're making $10 million a year. Your game is supposed to be elevated, and we're supposed to see the very best of Jawan Johnson this year. No more concentration drops and all this foolishness. You got to get it. You got to work on your blocking. You have to become a all pro tight end. That's what the money represents. Could he do that? Like I said, the man, I don't challenge him there, because he fought all the way up from undrafted wide receiver. Then they flipped this to a tight end in the second year. Then he had to start at the bottom of the tight end room, just like he did as a wide receiver. Then he's over time crawled up until the tight end number one, and then got the paper. Is he good with that, or is he ready to become one of the best tight ends the Saints ever seen? Is he ready to elevate his game and go to the next level? Because they putting a lot of money into him, to be that. So what you think, Pops, about Jawan Johnson?
Yeah, he's got the talent. He's got the talent to be a good tight end, but does he have the heart that it takes to go along with getting down dirty and catching, making those plays and blocking? He's got to block and then make the plays. He's got to catch the ball. He's got the talent. He got the talent. He just got to put himself, you got to put himself out there. Got to make himself available to his quarterback, And I think he got the ability to do it if he don't be lazy. If he just go on and play the position like he's getting paid to play it, man. Yeah. I think he's going to do well. If they let him, he's got to be his season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pops. I think, Jawan, we've been saying that about Jawan Johnson. He needs to take it to the next level, man. He got the paper, not show us, justify it. Shout out to Uncle Paulie. The great Saint Tank historian. He talked about the Saints O-line if it doesn't get better, this team is not going anywhere fast. Indeed.
Right.
You can't count on the quarterback to go in there and win your games. You ain't going to be able to lean on them like that. The guys, you're going to have to use other things around them and play as a team to help the quarterback until he can pick up the fullness of the playbook and operate it accordingly. But the running attack, stuff like that, has to be factored in. Jawan Johnson, who we talked about, has to elevate his game. The big wide receivers, the track teams, the Saints assembled. And like I said, I have no problem with McCoy. I don't have problems with our bookend tackles. The guard play, we got Dylan Redunce at one guard, Cesar Ruiz struggling at the other guard. That's where we are. We have to get that together. So that's a good roster projection right there. Y'all fill in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about it. Some of the family members throwing out some suggestions there, and very interesting. Did we find Dr. Gray said, did we find a young MBS? 1 year, Dr. Gray with Devon Valley. You look at the tape, to me, he has similar speed to MVS. MVS is lanky and long, but this guy is more muscular and built for running in between. He's built for going in the jungle, so to speak, and and going amongst the beast out there and this type of thing. Like he thrives in that, and that's one of the guys. You need a physical wide receiver like that. We should have two of those type of guys. The Saints figure like, hey, we got one, but this is the thing. We have to be able to see. So we'll see. All right. So Barry, what's up, brother? Barry says salute, Pops. Big Q and Pops Q. Everybody hit the like button, and I believe they have to make some money moves, especially on the O-line. I do have a question. Do you think Pete Werner is a legit linebacker? I do like Pete Werner. I think Pete Werner is a good linebacker. Pete Werner's problem is, well, we know he's not a super athletic guy, but we know he's a smart linebacker. But the Saints paid him last year. He's going to be here. He's considered a long-term guy in the middle when DeMario gets out of here. And you move Danny Stutzman next to him. So, yeah, I think Pete Werner's a very good linebacker. Pete just has to stay healthy, man, because he had a few plays today in the game. He was moving around making plays. So, I think Pete's good. We just need to kind of just continue to keep him healthy. You got to stay healthy in that defense, man. That's what it comes down to. All right. So, anyway, with that being said, shout out to y'all, man. Hit the like button. Pops, let's kind of put the kibosh on this thing as we get ready to move on and close the stream down. Let's get some final thoughts from you about the Saints as we get ready going into Sunday. And between Sunday and now, we'll be hearing a lot of different cuts going forward. What are your thoughts on the Saints heading into week 1? And like I said, what should be done here?
I'm hoping that they can recognize make the right selections, pick the right people that has performed in those positions to their liking, and that they can and proven themselves. I think that they got a chance, but they got to make sure they make the right decisions. But the team that the writer suggests, well, they do have a ton of talent on there. So we could, we just gonna see how it plays out. I think that there'll be some that's gonna make the team, and then there'll be a few that won't make the team. But we hope that the people that Kellen Moore has picked to be on the Saints team on the final 53 will be enough to where we don't see these mistakes in the defense where they're getting run off the ball. Like a lot of it been, you're seeing that through preseason. Oh, this is preseason. Now all that's behind you. You didn't win anything in preseason. This is behind you. Now you got to get ready for the regular season. So now we're going to start seeing what kind of coach Kellen Moore really is.
That's true, Pops. Big money talk, BS walk, man. It's time to put your money where your mouth is on that one for Kellen Moore. Uncle Paul says, Q, do you see the Saints keeping the practice squad that can come in and help if the injury bug starts to bite? A lot of the players, well, see, that's one of the things I commend Philly on, how they handled the practice squad, because we talked about this all the time. Howie Roseman and a lot of the brass at Philadelphia, obviously where Kellen comes from last year, believed in using the practice squad as an extension of his active roster. So they will have guys on there that they would put on the practice squad, and if injuries start happening, they can automatically grab these guys and bring them onto the team, as opposed to going to the street and getting somebody, because most of the times you stash these guys on the practice squad because of their familiarity with your system, your scheme, what you got running. So the curve is shorter for guys on your team that been with you through training camp, for them to kind of slide them into action versus bringing a fresh player off the street and say, okay, I need you to do this. Very limited, right? So it depending on how the Saints stash the practice squad and be able to maneuver, it's going to be interesting. And hopefully Kellen Moore can do that, and whoever he has working with him can help situate that, because that's not Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis is not an active general manager when the season starts. Like when games start mattering, he turns into a VP and he goes into his office, closes the door. He's not really out there moving and shaking and all this kind of stuff. That's just not how he operates. That's Howie Roseman. Roseman does that because that's his job. But Mickey Loomis is not like that in the on season. When things get to popping and clicking, that dude kicked his feet back. He likes the off season because he feels like he can have an impact. But he even said that it's like, when the season starts, I have less power. I'm like, what are you talking about? You still have the same amount of power you have when the season starts versus when the season's off. See, the mentality is he switches from general manager to VP. He doesn't differentiate or separate them. And that's the problem I have with Mickey Loomis being a general manager. You don't stop being a general manager when the games count. You're supposed to be looking over the team, evaluating the team, asking questions, seeing if you need help here or there, asking about players. He's totally detached and puts it all on the people. And then if shit starts failing, Mickey Loomis will come out and tell people they're not qualified and even lie for you. To cover up, like the dumbass didn't even know his team was being fractured by Dennis Allen. He got up there and said, "There's no fractures. I don't know. I know. There's no cracks and fractures in the team. That's not true." And then the team cracking up, fracturing its ass off. And they even said it in what was Jamal Williams mentioned in an interview about players not liking Dennis. Dennis Allen didn't like players. The players didn't like Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen is weird. He's weird, and he's a backstabby little worm, and that's why a lot of players didn't get down with Dennis Allen. But Demario Davis showed liked him. Tyrann Mathieu showed liked him, and he lying to Jameis Winston, telling Jameis, "Well, I'm gonna play you when you get a chance," and just lying and backstabbing. But anyway, Demario liked him. Tyrann like, he's a fun coach. All this dumb shit. But in the end of the day, we see this happening now, and the team has to put it together. Accountability is here. You can't win without it. And you need realism. You need realism, Pops. You can't be looking at this team with rose-colored glasses. You got to be able to go in there and know what time it is, man.
Yep. Know your players. You
gotta
know
know.
them. Otherwise, if you don't know them, if you haven't learned anything, you know what's going to happen next. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. And I always bring that up, Pops. Mickey Loomis said in his own words that he doesn't evaluate during the season.
Right.
What did you name me? What general manager that doesn't evaluate his team during the season? He said that. And they didn't question not one wrong. I said there should have been articles on with Mickey Loomis, not one article written about Mickey Loomis when he came out and said he doesn't do in-season evaluations. And people sitting up here figuring out why the Saints is losing over the last 4 years, blaming everything but the people they should look at. What general manager in the NFL you know that don't do in-season evaluations? But yet to tell people they're not qualified, you stop evaluating when the season starts. This what kind of guy we got. So when we talk about trades and shaking and moving, it got to be Kellen Moore. He better be doing all of that because that guy ain't going to bat an arm or move a damn half a foot unless the man asks me, man, we need this, that, and the third. Right. That's real spill. We know who these people are, fam. Come on. Mm-hmm. Can't compare that guy to no Howie Roseman. That's why Roseman always fleeces Loomis when it comes to trades. He always gets the best of Loomis because Loomis don't know what he's doing. I'm trying to tell you people, man, y'all don't know who this guy is, man. Giving them credit for shit Sean Payton did. Sean Payton was telling, look what Payton got the people winning in Denver. It took him, 2 years to do it? He took all these bum-ass coaches we had down here making excuses that couldn't do nothing without him, and he assembled them into a decent unit out there. They were 3-0 in the preseason. They was doing good last year. Coach Payton makes it pop. He knows how to take all these bum-ass coaches and put them and make them one decent coach. Pete Carmichael, Rizzi, all the Lombardi, these dudes have failed in multiple stops, but they only have real success when Coach Payton is there. What's that all about? He knows how to assemble talent and people and make it pop. We had people here we couldn't do nothing with. Troutman, all these garbage, people and players, but they out there working for Coach Payton. I'm just saying, man, when you know what you're doing and respect and accountability are part of the game, you're going to get farther than the guy that don't have it. This is the NFL. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, there's a poll question that's up. Who should start week number 1 right now as it stands, man? We got Spencer Rattler at 66% and Tyler Shough at 34%. So the family members have spoken going into a couple of weeks from now. Spencer Rattler, they think he gets the nod. KT says, Q, I believe that there will be a lot of cutting and signing players from other teams. I would still add an offensive depth, another big receiver, and a tall corner, possibly another return guy. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. That some of that you should have already had, right? Uncle Paulie says Landon Young and Trevor Penning and Foskey. He says this is the last chance to get it together for real. Just riding the bench and getting the check. Just don't cut it. All right. Shout out to you. Slim says you got to look beyond the results. Mickey Loomis did say that too. Foolishness. Say any idiotic thing to absolve himself from being honest and accountable. Just say any kind of foolish shit. But this is who you got. You got to win despite guys like that. Yep. Anyway, let's get on up out of here. I'm going to let Pops go and get him some sleep, man. Listen, I appreciate all you guys for timing in. Feel free to hit the like button, man.
I love you too, son.
Let Pops get some sleep, man. All right, so anyway, with that said, man, listen, we're going to get out on this, man. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Check out our fantastic sponsors, links in the description section below. Also check out our website, the WhoDatDaily.com, the new WhoDatDaily.com for all your latest news, man, notes and items. And we'll be keeping a firm look and an eye on the tracker. What players the Saints release. We'll be back with a future show covering all that, man. And it's time, fam. Between 9 Tuesday, we're going to see a lot of stuff happening. Is Isaiah Foskey in the mix? We'll see what's going on, man. It's fun times as the Saints continue to build this roster. With that being said, we're going to holler at you on the next one. Much love, peace, and who that take.
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.